I see a lot of chess videos and chess channels on YouTube, so why not? I'll do the same thing. And right now, this is December 2014. I'm an expert rated player, and my goal was to break 2100 by the end of this year. And the year, I got like 10 days left, so I don't think it's going to happen. But I mean, I have played 97 games over expert. I made expert earlier this year, and I played 97 rated games maintaining expert. So, yay for me, although by some people's standards, that's actually pretty poor. But I think for most people's standards, that's pretty good. I mean, in my area, there's a 13-year-old who at the beginning of the year was like 2,000, and then 9 months later, he was a master. So he went from 200 rating points in 9 months to make master, and that's pretty good. And that's actually who I'm playing this game. And I'm not going to tell the names of the people I'm playing because, this is Game in 45, and people make mistakes, and I don't want to make it sound like I'm ragging on anybody. And I'm also going to go over my brutal losses because, surveys show that people are more turned on by humility than arrogance. So when I get my beatdowns and I show them, maybe this will show some humility. Okay, so I played in the quads yesterday. On Saturday, they have these quads, and for the players who show up, they play a tournament. There's 3 rounds. They group it by rating, so 4 people in a quad. Everybody plays everybody. I was in the top quad. I was the 4th board, and my average opponent rating was like 2251. So I'm playing 3 masters essentially. The average age is like 16, and they're all teenagers, right? And they're all less than half my age. The average rating is more than 200 points higher than mine, and they're on their way up. In 10 years, they're probably going to be 200 points higher, and they're a lot faster than me. So I'm outclassed. I'm just totally outclassed in this quad. But I just need 1 point. If I get 1 point, I'm fine, and I might even gain a few rating points. And this is the game where I had my point. My point was on a platter for me. But Game in 45, something went wrong. I mean, I don't know what it was. There's something neurological. In a slow game, I would have easily found these moves. But guess what? In a slow game, he wouldn't have made that mistake. So, here's the game here. Here's my painful loss, which I thought I was going to win. And that's one thing about Game in 45, right? The swindle factor is like several hundred running points of strength, right? I mean, in these Game in 45s, there's a lot of mistakes. And it's the person who hangs in there is often the person who wins. You could be in a bad position in a Game in 45. Okay, so I decided to play the French, right? And I have good results with the French. Usually, one reason why is when I play lower rated players is they have problems with this light squared bishop. The French, it gives you counterplay. You attack the center, you get your c5 pawn lever, it's active, you can play for an imbalance, right? It's good stuff, and if you want to play for, it's good chess, but the problem is this light squared bishop is the bad bishop. When I play lower rated players, I have a high rate because I very, very often will go into the French endgame where they have a bad bishop and I have a good knight, or I have a good bishop and I just win with that because, but when I play masters, they don't go for that, right? I mean, it's very rare that I get the endgame I want with the French. I mean, a lot of endgames I get in the French is they have rook and bishop, and they have active rook and active bishop. So I might have the better minor piece, but they have piece activity, and they got something going on, so I never get the endgame I want, Okay, so we're playing the French, and he goes for the winnower, right? And this is Game in 45, so I don't feel like playing all these sharp tactical lines. Instead, I play a side line that I know really well, that there's some traps, and if they don't know it, they're going to spend a lot of time in the opening. Well, obviously, he knows it, so he's not going to spend a lot of time in the opening. There's all kinds of stuff happening here with the tension that, if black does the wrong thing, I get an advantage, or I get a big advantage, right? So he just calmly plays knight to h6, and this is the first time I've ever seen this move in a tournament game. So guess what? I'm the person who's going to be spending more time, and he's fast and already. So I'm gonna, I'm not afraid of this move, but I just have to look some things over. Okay, what can you do? What can I do? Okay, I'm still playing knight. I'm still playing knight to b5, and which is fine. His moves are instantaneous, and from here I'm doing a little thought. The point of this move is he wants to castle. If he doesn't play this knight out, then I get to come to d6 and he can't castle. And it's a great game for me, and I get a lot of crushing wins against lower-rated players, but he's a master. He's not going for that. Okay. So I play I think for a bit, and I play f4, which is a playable move. It's not the best move. Houdini does not think it's the best move, but I'm not losing. I get my knight in d6. Yay, knight in d6. I want to go there. It's there. It's great. He plays there. I'm taking back with the knight. I don't want to get my queen harassed. I'm taking back with the knight, you know. He's playing moves, taking stuff back. And he plays this f6 break, and this requires some thought on my part because, you know, there's some tension in the center. There's, you know, pieces are going to get active. I got to think, and he's got, like, you know, he's got a lot more time than me. So I'm thinking, and I really don't want to take the knight on c6, right? But I think I'm compulsed to, and Houdini agrees. So I take the knight. Grudgingly, I take the knight because I support his center, and I lose time, and blah, 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 right? So now I think I got to castle long, and Houdini says so. Yay! So right now, I'm not playing like Grandmaster Chess, but I'm not doing anything horribly wrong. And when I'm playing lower-rated players, I usually win when I don't do anything horribly wrong because they do something more horribly wrong, right? Well, this is a master, and it doesn't work that way usually. Okay, so he takes here and he takes there, and now it looks like he's attacking me. I'm like, oh my gosh, he's gonna get this f2 square. He's gonna get his rook on knight down. I'm gonna be attacked. Oh no, here comes the onslaught. He's a you know, master and da da. But the computer thinks I'm completely fine. It's like pretty much even. So I play the computer move. I think it's force rook e1, right? He ambitiously throws his rook in my face, and the computer thinks this is getting better for me, right? I'm looking at this. I'm thinking, okay, where's the shot? Is the shot coming? I mean, because, you know, I spent a bunch of time because I say, hey, quit with queen to g4, right? What if he does queen to a5, threatening my rook and threatening this pawn? So I do all this calculation. I do all this. I'm doing all this thinking, and you know, bishop e2 just stops. You know, let him take the pawn here. I'm hitting this. It's complicated, but it's not a problem. But you see, I waste time and energy, and he didn't spend much time on it. He just quickly dismissed it in his head, and he plays here instead, which is not so great. I'm actually up by half a pawn, right? I'm kind of, you know, doing a lot of calculation and thinking. This is game in 45. My clock's dwindling down. And he plays this, and that's really ambitious, but it's actually a bigger mistake, right? I mean, his pieces are aggressive, but it's like, you know, I've got my whole army down here, and the computer thinks I'm up by almost like 2 pawns right now. So I find the force move and whatever, and now I'm thinking, wait, counterplay. So he blunders even more heavily, and I find this, and this is just like winning, right? I get at least the exchange here, right? And I'm seeing this, and he sees it's not good either, and he's sweating, and he's thinking. So he plays this tricky move, right? There's a lot of traps for it, but wait a second, and I think, where should I put the queen here? You know, obviously, you know, taking the bishop, and that's hanging. So, but the computer has me up by almost 7 points. This is a win, and I see I'm winning, and I play the best move. I think this is the best move, and I play it, right? And he takes the rook here, and I'm crushing, right? But I don't find the best continuation. The best continuation is not to take the rook back. It's to go to b7 and hit his other rook. And, like, this is like, you know, game in 45, and I'm, you know, running low on time, but I gotta win, and I'm thinking about the win, and he's just in maximum intensity mode. The master kicks in, and, you know, even though I got the better position, he's like gonna find better moves than me. In a slow game, I would just totally, if I was playing a grandmaster in a classical time control, I would just crush them. But this is not a classical time control, and I play that, which isn't as strong. Now I'm only up like 2 points, right? Because check, and I gotta go in the corner. He puts the knight here. Now he's trying to threaten the smothered mate trick, and, you know, I'm not gonna fall for that. So I put the rook here, and he comes here. Now I do a lot of thinking because, you know, I kind of want to go to queen at b7, but I have to worry about the back rank. I got to worry about here and all this stuff. So I offer a queen trade, and after he trades the queens, right, I'm like better by by 0.2, 0.3 pawns, and I lose the thread. I've got the exchange, but he's got pawns and they're centralized. And then he just goes into maximum intensity mode. I've got 5 minutes, and he wins, right? This is my win. It was very painful, but I mean, it kind of shows you what these masters are made of. If you're not a master and you get a position that's dominating, I mean, you still gotta watch out. This is my point. I didn't get it. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later.